Hi, I'm Dr. Brooke Burnson with Hearing Solution Centers, and today we're going to go over how to clean your hearing aids at home. Coming up. So on a daily basis, we get people calling us all the time saying, my hearing aid's dead, it's not working, what's wrong with it? And a lot of times we'll say, it could be something as simple as it just needs a good cleaning. And some patients can do that at home, others like to come in and see us. So when the patient comes in with their hearing aid and they say it's dead, sometimes they'll say, I changed the battery 20 times and it's still not working. What's wrong with it? Well, that's when we start trying to think, okay, could it be your receiver? Could it really be you got a bad pack of batteries? Or could it be a wax filter and it just needs a really good cleaning? So we think about all of that when you come in, and we'll then look over it and see what's going on with your hearing aids. So I'm going to show you how we go about cleaning the hearing aids, but I'll also show you how you can clean them at home yourself just to keep good maintenance on them, because we do want to see you guys about every 6 months just to make sure that the hearing aid does get a really good cleaning on it. But there are some things that you can do at home which will help make that easier, okay? And so we'll discuss that in just a second. Okay, so here I've got everything that you're gonna need to clean your hearing aids. Now you're not gonna need every single thing of this, but what you've got at home will work, okay? I have a couple of different types of hearing aids here. This may not be the type of hearing aid that you have at home, but the cleaning process is still gonna be about the same, okay? So I've got my hearing aids. I also have a good old toothbrush, but when you get your hearing aids, most of the time you do get this little kind of black brush with this little loop on it. I also like to use just an alcohol wipe or pad. If you don't have this, again, when you get your hearing aids, you do tend to get a little microfiber cloth. If you don't have either of these, a good old tissue will work perfectly fine. We also have our wax guards, or our wax filters is what we'll also call them. They come in a couple different styles, different colors, but they both do the exact same thing. Or you may even have a little disc shaped like ones. And then I've got a couple of other cleaners here. I really like to use this nano cleaner, but if you don't have this, again, a good piece of wire, whether it's fishing wire or just a good piece of string, will work just as well, okay? So when we get this type of hearing aid here, one of the first things that I like to do is clean it off, okay? Ladies with hairspray, my best advice for you is to make sure when you're getting ready in the morning, hairspray first, and then let it dry and then put the hearing aid on, because this part of the hearing aid really gets skunked up with hairspray, okay? So you'll wanna wipe it down. We're just gonna kind of disinfect it. We're gonna wipe down our receiver line here and even our dome, and we'll pop it off at the same time too, okay? I'm gonna set that aside. I'm gonna clean this tail, or what I like to call the kickstand, because it can get wax on it. Clean your receivers. Just make sure it's got a really good wipe down. Same with the custom pieces. Get inside the grooves, because those are gonna get built up with wax and dirt and debris, and your faceplate of it, especially if you've been outside working in the Oklahoma heat, working in the garden, it'll get dirty, okay? So we're gonna wipe it all down. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our filters that go for our hearing aid. And I'm gonna grab this yellow one. So on it, on the tip, there's what I call a braille dot. And that's the part that we're gonna put in the hearing aid to remove the old one out. Now, if that's too hard for you to see, or you have a hard time feeling it, and you're not comfortable with that, you can also just use your fingernail and pop this filter off right here. This is the number one reason I tend to find why all of a sudden someone can't hear and they come into us saying their hearing aid is dead. So like I told you earlier, some people will open, their battery doors, take their battery out, and they'll replace it 20 times and say my batteries aren't working, when in reality, it's just this part, okay? So we're gonna take our empty in here. We're gonna pop it in there, okay? See, you don't have to push very hard at all. You just wanna get it in, and we're gonna pull it out, okay? So then we're gonna take our clean end, we're gonna flip it around, and we're gonna push it right back in there, okay? And I like to push it down just to make sure that it's in there well. So the same will be on this one as well. You're gonna use your stick, you're gonna take it out, push it just in here just a little bit. It'll pop off, and sometimes there is wax around there, so again, you can take your cloth, wipe it off, switch it around to your clean end, and replace it. And then you'll just discard your stick, okay? Now, some people ask, how often do I have to change my wax filters? And I always say, well, that's gonna depend on how much wax you have in your ears. Some people can go months without having to change it. Other people, like Dr. Young, don't even wear them because he produces way too much wax. And some people can go about a week. I like to think if you don't know how much wax you have, just get in a good habit of cleaning your hearing aids once a week. Again, keeping up on that maintenance, and change your wax filters at that same time, okay? All right, after changing my wax filter, like I said, I like to use a good toothbrush. Old toothbrush is perfectly fine, or you can use this that you got in your cleaning set as well. And I'm just gonna brush everything off. So I'm brushing off my filters area with my receiver. My microphones are up here, so I wanna brush around that area, because if your microphones get dirty, it'll make it very difficult to hear. Your push buttons, those will get gunk around it too. Clean that. Clean inside your battery door, because that can get corrosion in it sometimes, and dirt and debris. And even you can get inside this part right here. It's perfectly fine. You're not gonna hurt the hearing aid, okay? So we just wanna get anything that could be in it. We're just gonna brush it off, okay? And then after you've done all of that and your hearing aid's nice and clean, we've cleaned this part again. We open our battery door, get in there, clean your mics. The only other thing on the custom pieces that you'll need to do is a lot of them have what's called a vent, and that vent runs through the bottom of the hearing aid, okay? So see, we've got that there. So that vent will get plugged up with wax, okay? And if it gets plugged up with wax, a lot of times you'll feel plugged up in your ears. So use fishing wire, some kind of twine, something just to push the wax through on that, okay? And that's all you have to do on that part. All right, and then with our domes, if you have spare domes, you are more than welcome to replace those. If you don't, take the one that you've got. Again, use your cloth, wipe it off really well. If you have this little wire loop, get underneath the skirt. And we're gonna clean that out of any wax that could be in it. The top here tends to sometimes get wax as well, so just make sure you clean that off really well. And then you're gonna take it, and we're gonna I kind of pinch it a little bit so I can push it back on. And I push it down really well, and I even give it a little tug. And see, I could pop that skirt up, but it's not coming off. So then I'll push it down again just to make sure it stays on. If you have your own domes at home and you switch them out, make sure you get them on really well. And if you ever replace a dome and then all of a sudden you pull your hearing aid out of your ear and the dome is gone, Don't keep adding more onto it, because there's a good chance that you might have gotten one stuck in your ear. So come in and see us and we'll take it out of your ear. Don't try and use tweezers or anything like that to pull it out, okay? And then if you open and you get a new battery, we're gonna take our battery, for those who need it, put it back in, and we'll close our door. And then we hear our startup jingle, and you're all good to go again for another week. And that's it. So just remember, we do like for you guys to try and clean your hearing aids about once a week. If you're not comfortable with it or anything like that, you're more than welcome to give us a call and set up an appointment, and we'll get you in for a clean and check. Or again, we like to see you about every 6 months, just so we can make sure that we do a really good deep clean, suction out your microphone ports and everything like that, okay? So, but you'll be successful at this. I know you can do it. If you liked what you saw today, click like on the bottom of your screen and also hit subscribe to our channel. Thanks.